Really?
We present to you a Rome Productions.
What is good, everybody? If you're a first-time viewer of my content and of this video, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel. As you can see, a lot of people have been talking about this on my timeline. Somebody just shared a post about it to me a couple of days ago. My brother just told me about it yesterday. So I figure I'd take the time out to actually discuss this and give you a critical analysis upon the basis of this issue. So before we get into that, let's watch this video concerning what Dr. Umar has to say about Kevin Samuels, because he calls him out. So let's get into it.
The Triple D, the Dirty Dozen of Division. There's about 12 members of the Dirty Dozen of Division, 12 beta males, YouTube life coaches, who are trying to build a platform by making black women feel bad. I don't like it. I can't appreciate black men trying to make a dollar off of making black women feel bad. And unfortunately, our black women, some of them are so thirsty for validation that they're participating in the attacks and slander against the black female community, and that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable. No black woman should ever subject herself.
Now, first and foremost, let me just say that I love Dr. Umar Johnson. I love what he is doing. I support his content. I support his movement. Now, with Kevin Samuels, I have my differences personally with Kevin Samuels. Nonetheless, I do respect his grind. I respect his ideologies to some extent. I respect some of the stuff that he has to say here and there. Even though I may not like him personally as a person, that still does not neglect or diminish the stuff that he says that is true and valid concerning the situations with a lot of women and a lot of men. So I can take away the person from the message. I may not like the messenger personally. I may not personally agree with who he is as a person and his personality, but I can get on track with his message. I can get on track with what he has to say. Now, before we get into this scenario, Dr. Umar Johnson not only calls out Kevin Samuels, but he also addresses him in an Instagram post. There is a growing beta male YouTubian community that is creating a sector dedicated to slandering and criticizing black women who don't emulate Eurocentric standards of beauty and success. Unfortunately, many sisters have become prey for these coons due to an unconscious need for male validation. Black women, you don't need a man to validate your worth. Now, we're going to break this down in the most critical way possible, because I do not want to have my opinions and my viewpoints take over the points of this video. I want to actually give you a critical analysis upon the basis of this video to the best of my ability. I see this a lot with a lot of conscious and pro-black men, that the black woman is God, you know, and I see this a lot with a lot of pro-black men. And I won't front to you, because for people who have been following me for a certain while, I used to have the shirts. I used to have the protect black women at all costs. My mama black, my sister black. You wouldn't date a black woman. I need me a revolutionary black. I used to feed into this to such a high extent. Like no tomorrow. Like, for people who actually been following me and keeping up with me, you know about this, all right? There was no end to it. 85% of the content that conscious men make is on black women. Just go through their page. I love black women just because, oh, black girl magic, black women are beautiful. If you ain't dating a black woman, you lost. See, what I had to do as a black man was to reflect. When I start to see that, okay, the majority of this community is just catering to black women, I began to see that they didn't hold women accountable for their actions and what they had to say. You know, you have women that could literally make posts or say things that are just out of the blue, just disrespectful and rude. And you could see the men in this community give people just passes, give these women passes just because they were black women. I mean, it would go so far to the extent where they would blame you for making her mad. Well, you shouldn't have been messing with her, or you should have just minded your business. It's like they will go to these extents just to advocate and to stay on the side of any type of black woman. You have a lot of conscious men who are dysfunctional. A lot of conscious men were raised up in the projects or dysfunctional households, so they think that the behavior of black women acting like this is valid. That for a woman to get out of pocket, to talk to you sideways, to not be submissive, to not hear what you have to say, to be rude, to be bipolar, whatever the case is, that they think that this is how a black woman is supposed to act. And anybody knows that a black woman, an actual black woman, is somebody who is feminine, somebody who is nurturing, somebody who is understanding, somebody who brings wisdom to the conversation. Now, somebody who is loudmouth and treacherous. You have this dynamic here where Kevin Samuels deals with relationships. He deals with the issues concerning the delusion that some of these females put themselves into, and also teaching men how to be quote unquote high value, how to, build yourself up, and how to build a persona for yourself, him being an image consultant and all that stuff. Rather, when you deal with Dr. Umar though, you are dealing with the persona of Pan-Africanism. You're dealing with the persona of he's trying to talk about the issues concerning black people. Kevin Samuels is dealing with issues concerning relationships and how people can get on game with how they can better themselves personally and how they can better themselves in a relationship. Dr. Umar believes that black people will one day rise up and gain their black utopia, and that someday, black people are going to get back on top. Kevin Samuels, however, is dealing with a particular issue of in the now. What can you do now to better yourself? Let's deal with the issues. Let's deal with the problems. Let's negotiate. Let's point them out. And then what can you do to better yourself? What can you do to contribute to your life that you can be the best you possible? He's not dealing with the victimhood mentality of the white man's keeping us down and white supremacy and all this other type of stuff. Rather, when you're dealing with Dr. Umar, he continuously talks about white supremacy. He continuously talks about this scenario of talking about the system and the system keeping us down, and continuously talking about certain issues that are propagated in the media. So like I said, you're dealing with two different type of issues here. So for Dr. Umar to come out of his box, and I would never call Dr. Umar a simp. But you have a lot of these conscious community men, these conscious community males who will go out of their way to slander and diminish the message that Kevin Samuels tries to bring to the forefront. Now, you don't have to agree with who he is as a person personally. I don't even like him personally as a person, but that's just for my own reasons. But when you're dealing with Kevin Samuels and the message that he brings to the forefront, you can't diminish or even try to argue what he brings to the forefront concerning how women act, and also how men are supposed to act, and how some men act as well. So when you put two and two together, I personally I don't agree with what Dr. Umar had to say, and also how he's trying to call out Kevin Samuels and how they're supposed to have this debate. If they have this debate, what you're going to hear is Dr. Umar talking about the liberation of black people, and you're going to hear Kevin Samuels talk about what is that really going to do when you're trying to bring all black people together, when all black people can't get on one accord, and also how his message is to actually deal with the issues that concern black women. Kevin Samuels doesn't deal with the issues of what black people need to do and how black people can better themselves. He deals with the now concerning individuals and how they can better themselves, and he also deals with the issues of how you have some females out here who are delusional, and how women can also better themselves, and how he gives them a reality check of, hey, you're not what you think you are. You live in this delusion of this Disney narrative where you think that a man is supposed to give you everything, and that you're just everything on top because maybe your father told you this, maybe your grandfather told you this, maybe you was conditioned to actually believe this by your mother. Having a debate between Kevin Samuels and Dr. Umar Johnson would not do anything other than a good laugh. You're only going to get a good laugh out of the situation between Kevin Samuels and Dr. Umar Johnson. It's not going to benefit black people. It's just going to give them a good laugh. But what you also will see here, I personally do not think that it's going to benefit Dr. Umar Johnson, because what Dr. Umar is going to argue is the whole scenario with race concerning black men and women. And he's going to deal with the scenario of black women have been brutalized and most disrespected and unprotected and neglected, and you have the nerve to talk about them, brother. And then Kevin Samuels going to go back and be like, well, if you actually deal with the dynamics of what's going on in this society and how these women have been conditioned, we have to point them out and call them out and hold them accountable.
Yeah, brother, but do you understand what black women are going through today? And we have to be there for them. We ain't giving them leadership.
Well, the black women don't want leadership. Black women, if you look at the women out here, they want to do bad all by themselves.
Brother, but you the one that pushed them. The black men, the brothers out here, they're the one that pushed them there.
I mean, if you really actually look at the statistics, it's going to go like that. I mean, that's just how I see the conversation going. If they even, have a debate, whatever the case is. So, it is what it is. I personally don't think that Dr. Umar should have called him out. They're in two different lanes. And personally, like I said, with the message that Kevin Samuels is bringing to the forefront, I don't have an issue with it at all. All right. Even despite my personal differences and how I personally see him as a person, I do support and I like the message that he brings. But until next time, I'm Tyrone. Thank you for watching this video. If you like what I had to say, if you did not like what I had to say, let all your thoughts be known in the comment section below. Until next time, I'm Tyrone. Again, thank you for watching this video. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other people. Until next time, I'm Tyrone, and I am Neil.